Hi, I'm Becky Johnson with Sweetheart Quilt Design Company. And today I wanted to do another binding video. So this is a wrap from the back, and we already have our binding video number 6 does a wrap from the back. But I wanted to show you a couple little differences if you want to use Cuddle for the back. And it makes a really nice soft binding, and little kids like to rub their fingers on that. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is, just like with the regular fabric, you trim it at 1 inch. And I've got a section here, so this is what it'll look like when you trim it at 1 inch. And then we want to go in and trim the batting to a 1/2 inch. So when I did the original video, I did it with, I slid a little mat in between the batting and the backing fabric, so I wouldn't cut the backing fabric, and then I used a ruler and cut it off. And that's really precise and nice, but sometimes I'm not that ambitious, so I'm a little lazy, so I just use a pair of scissors and eyeball it. So you can do it either way you want. So when you get to the corners, just like with the regular fabric, you want to slice this, cut this off at a 45-degree angle, like this, because otherwise you'll really have a bulky corner. And then, but then with the Cuddle, there's so much bulk that what you want to do is trim that at a 1/2 inch, past a 1/2 inch more than your original trim. Okay, so let me get the rest of this out of here. I like to cut the corners first, because otherwise you come up and you cut one side and then it's hard to get that angle in there right. At least for me it is. All right, so we'll just trim this out of here. All right, now what we're going to do is use the binding clips. I find I get a much better results if I use them. So we're going to fold this binding up to the edge of the quilt top, and then we're going to fold it one more time and start putting clips in. And you can put those, I don't know, every 2, 2.5, 3 inches, just depending on how you think it how much you think it needs to hold well. You'll be able to adjust it as you sew, but you want it to generally be right. Okay, then what we're going to do when we get to the corner is we're going to take this and fold it in, and then fold it, wait, I said that wrong. I'm leading you astray. Okay, we're going to fold it in that 1/2 inch, and then we're going to flatten this back out and fold it like we were, so right to the edge, and then one more fold. Okay, so I'm going to put this binding clip on there. Now what I found was the binding clips, because you have to get them out of the way before you sew, and they weren't holding it quite well enough. So what I started doing was putting straight pins in here to really hold it. All right, now we'll do the other side. Get a binding clip on here to hold it. And then you want to make sure you get a good mitered corner there. It's a little hard to see, but because it's so fuzzy. Yay, we love fuzzy. And then I pin that like that. So let me put in a few more clips. And then I'll sew it. Now, instead of sewing this with a straight stitch, I sew it with a zigzag. And it just seems to look better and hold better when you're working with the Cuddle. So I do it on, when I click on zigzag on my machine, it comes up to a setting where the stitch length is 2 and the width of the zigzag is 3. And that seems to work real well. All right. So that's a good start. so we're going to start stitching, and I like to stitch this right along the edge here. So I'll come in the middle of this, so I've still got that clip holding it, so it won't be pulling on my stitches at all. And then I'm just going to start stitching. Don't try and stitch over the binding clips, it just doesn't work at all. Okay, so you can see I'm just right along the edge there. And you got to be real careful when you get here to the corner to make sure you catch both sides. And I left the pins in, because for me to catch both sides, I kind of need it. All right, let me get my pins out. And let's see, get my placement right. And after I get a little ways, then I go back and check it and make sure I caught both sides. Yeah, I think it looks good. If I missed one side, I just can put a binder clip on there to help me remember I need to go back and redo that. Stray thread. Okay, and then normally I'd just keep going and go all the way around the quilt, just at the same time. Now, I baste my quilts when I, because I'm a long arm quilter. Rats. I forgot my seam ripper. Hang on just a minute. Okay, so what I do when I'm taking this out, and the thread's kind of hard to see because it blended, but I'll take out a few stitches. Just popped it. All right, start over. I'll take out a few stitches like this, and then I'll go cut a thread down a ways, and then or not. Might have been a break in the basting from roll up. Yeah. Okay, and then I just can pull it out. Normally it works better than that. Of course, since I was demonstrating it, it didn't. So I just pull out a few threads and then pop a thread up there, and then I can... What am I doing? Okay. And then I could just pull it straight out. Okay, so you want to take that basting out because it shows. And you've already stitched it down, so it's not serving a purpose anymore. So anyway, that's fun to do, and you get a nice fuzzy binding. Plus you save fabric. So have fun with that.